Hi, I'm Gaia Melikian, and I'm thrilled to be here with the director and cast members of the movie The Witch. Joining me first is director-writer Robert Eggers and the adorable Anya Taylor-Joy. Robert, you won the directing award at the Sundance Film Festival. Can you please tell us about your movie?
Yeah, I mean, The Witch is a psychological horror story. In this film, I've done my very best to recreate an extremely authentic 17th century world so that, the audience can believe in the witch the same way this family would, and see the 17th century witch as this primal, terrifying anti-mother figure. Ogress.
What's really interesting and what was very admirable for me is you did quite the authentic, extensive research. I understand a lot of your dialogue and storytelling is based on actual folktales and fairy tales and documents and court documents and journals and diaries based on, from the period. So that must have been really cool.
I was working with museums and historians and people in the living history community to, make it all right. The clothes were all hand-stitched and made from patterns from extant clothing, and the family farmstead was made from the correct materials, which very often meant having to use the tools and techniques from the period to make the stuff. The real world and the fairy tale world were the same thing in the 17th century. And so to see, in the fairy tales and folk tales were the exact same as the court records and other historical accounts.
That's what makes your project uniquely fascinating. I loved it.
Thank you.
Anya, now this is your first feature film and leading role. And you gave such an excellent performance.
Oh, thank you.
And if you were to think about all the things that you learned from Robert, your director, what is on top of that list?
Everything. He taught me how to act. I mean, he's been the most incredible mentor and friend, and as a director, he's just, you can't really beat him. We work very well together, and he just taught me, what it is that I love about acting, and I really do love it, and he just created this incredible kind of, it almost felt like school, I'd go in every day and I'd just learn so much, and hopefully that comes across on screen.
Oh, it definitely does. You're a must-see.
Thank you.
Robert, you seem to dabble in the dark fantasy genres. You also wrote and directed the short story The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, who was a master of horror. Is he an inspiration to you?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, Poe's, you can't beat Edgar Allan Poe.
I am now with Ralph Einson and Kate Dickey. Congratulations, guys, on this wonderful new project.
Thank you.
I understand you two play the parents to the 5 children in the movie. Tell me about the dynamic between your characters.
Well, they've had, we think, an amazing marriage and an amazing backstory, a wonderful life in England.
We love each other dearly.
Really, a really, really strong bond.
Your relationship in the movie was very lovely to me because you could see that, especially given your backgrounds. You guys are amazing actors. I mean, Ralph, you have done, besides the feature films, a ton of TV, like even Game of Thrones and The Office, and you've been in the Harry Potter franchises. How has this experience been different for you?
Almost completely, in a sense of it's a chance for me to work collaboratively with the director in a way that I just haven't really had the chance to do before. To really engage in a whole project from start to finish, have a chance to prepare for the part beforehand and see the job all the way through. So it's a very special project for me.
And Kate, you also have quite the diverse resume. You've also been classically trained in Scotland. So what lured you to this project?
I just hadn't read such a beautiful script like that for a long time, and then I went down to audition and Ralph had been cast already, and I met Rob and Ralph and it just worked with us. It was a great chemistry. We did a small scene from the movie and did a bit of improv, and we were literally shaking
Physically
together.
Shaking. It was a really intense reaction.
We quickly became very close. It just worked.
You filmed at a very remote forest location in Canada.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I'd drive most of the cast and the kids, and we'd drive out to work every day. It was like doing the school run.
It was.
Very neat.
And we had a week of rehearsals before we started shooting, which was so clever. And in that week, we bonded.
Especially with the children, to have that bond of trust that we had with the kids meant that they they feel free to do better work,
Yeah,
I
and
think, as we do with them.
They felt safe with us, and they felt they could come to us for cuddles if they
Yeah.
were missing, you know, they had their, you know, dads with them, but if they were missing their mummy, I would give Ellie a
Oh.
cuddle, and so we became a really supportive
Yeah.
unit, which was lovely, and I think that adds to it because there was no pretending of
Yeah.
dynamics, there was no
Yeah.
pretending to care for each other, you know.
Well, it certainly comes across.
Oh, great.
The Witch is available at a Redbox location nearest you. Thank you so much again, you guys, for
Thank
being
you.
so lovely to chat with.
Thank you, it's
and
lovely to meet
congratulations
you.
again.